Hi everyone, got a couple more minutes before we start, so we'll just see if anyone else is going to join before we begin. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are today. A little bit strange that we are not in person, but I hope you still enjoy your practice. I do have my dog wandering around, so I hope she doesn't get in the way too much. And as always, before we start, if anyone has any injuries or anything going on, you can comment in that little side box and I'll be able to give you a read before we begin. Alright, we are going to get started. So we're going to start off today in a comfortable seated position. So you can choose if you go cross-legged, kneeling. If it's a little bit uncomfortable to sit like this, you don't have your blocks with you, you can just sit on a cushion, but make sure you're right on your seat bones and you feel quite comfortable. I'm going to bring one hand onto our heart and one hand onto our stomach. And if it's comfortable, close down your eyes. And we're just going to take a few moments here to start connecting with our breath. So feeling an expansion through each hand as you inhale. And a sense of release as you exhale. Notice where you're breathing into your body. Is it just your chest, or can you incorporate your stomach as well? I'm just starting to come into this full body breath. And as you stay here for a few moments, focusing on this inhalation and exhalation, I want you to picture a big balloon in your mind. And as you inhale, that balloon is expanding, getting bigger. And as you exhale, it's shrinking down and getting smaller. So as you're breathing, you're picturing this balloon, and in your mind, you can choose what color, what texture this balloon is. And it's just moving with the speed of your own breath. And you can choose if this balloon is stationary or if it's moving with your breath. And throughout the class, if you're finding that your mind is a little bit busy, there's lots going on, just come back to this visualization of the balloon. Come back to this same full body breath. Gently release your hands and open up the eyes if they're closed. And we're going to make our way onto all fours. So hands below shoulders, knees hip width apart. And we'll start with a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, drop the stomach, arch the back, bring the gaze up. As you exhale, round the spine and bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, find that opening through the spine. And exhale as you round. Keep moving like this to the speed of your own breath. And as usual, adding in any other movement, any sort of twist or turn here. Just feeling your way into your body today. Keep matching whatever movement you're taking with your breath. And gently bring yourself to stillness. Pad, and think about that space in between your shoulder blades. Press it up towards the ceiling. Keep focusing on your Ujjayi breath here. In and out through the nose. Drop your knees. Take a breath. And then lift the knees again, just 2 inches off the floor. Starting to build some heat in the body straight away today. And again, drop the knees. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of moments here, just check in with your hands and your feet. So make sure your fingers are spread wide on the mat. You're rooting down with each fingertip, each knuckle pad. Maybe bend through each knee at once, walking your dog out. Maybe it brings an actual dog over to you. And think about tilting your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So maybe take a little bend in the knees and find that movement in the pelvis here. Come right up onto your tippy toes and walk your feet all the way to behind your wrists. Take a ragdoll at the top of your mat, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let your head just hang heavy. Maybe a little sway here, a little bounce. Just allow the upper half of your body to just relax. Release your hands to the mat. Bring your feet together to touch. And on an inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. And exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. If it's comfortable, close down your eyes. And take a moment here to think of someone or something that you are thankful for. Allow that thought of gratitude to not only carry you through your practice today, but maybe through the rest of your day. Gently open your eyes. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, reach the crown of the head forwards and the tailbone back. Fold. And again, halfway lift as you inhale, reach the crown of the head forwards. Step back to your high plank. Pausing in your high plank. Breathe here. Try not to let the hips sink. So notice what's going on. Rather stick the bum out a little bit, then let it drop down. Drop your knees. Untuck your toes, shift forwards and come all the way down to the mat. Open your chest for a baby cobra. Just use your back muscles here so you can lift your hands off the floor. Push back through your knees. Downward facing dog. Take a few moments in your down dog to notice if you need to make any changes to your hands, your feet. And let's take one. And as you exhale, step your feet to your hands. Take a halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale as you fold forwards. Take a halfway lift, flat back. Step back, high plank. Drop your knees, untuck your toes. Keep your elbows close as you come all the way down. Open your chest, cobra, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Push back through your knees, downward facing dog. Just starting to connect our breath and our movement together today. Noticing what your physical energy is like in your down dog. How's it feeling? Is there any tightness anywhere? Let's take one more inhale together. And as you exhale, step your feet forwards. Take a halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise tall, reach up. Exhale as you fold forwards. Lift halfway on your inhale. Step back, high plank. This time you can drop your knees, come all the way down, or bend your elbows, take a low plank. Either another cobra or up dog. If you're in your up dog, knees are lifted off the mat. Downward facing dog. So from now on, every time you take a vinyasa, you can choose which variation you take. Either dropping the knees or keeping them lifted. Inhale, fully lift. Exhale it all out, either walk or lightly jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach your arms tall. Press your weight right into the back of the feet here, so much so that you can lift your 10 toes off the floor. Think about curling your tailbone down towards the floor, so you're not arching, rounding down. Fold forwards. Halfway lift. Step back, high to low plank. You can drop your knees if you need to. Up dog or cobra, find an opening through the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale as you rise up. Taking a moment to just find your foundation. Press the back edge of that back foot down. Reach tall with the arms. One more inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. You can drop your knees here. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Take your time, rise up. Again, notice do I need to go a little bit wider with my feet, a little bit longer with my stance. Relax the shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Let's just take a few rounds of that same full body breath that we started the class with. Think about where we were expanding the body on the inhale and where we were releasing on the exhale. One more full inhale. Exhale, soften knees, gaze forwards, lightly jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, one breath, rise up. Fold forwards. Halfway lift. High to low plank. Up dog or cobra on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, straight back down through your vinyasa. Moving at the speed of your own breath. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, hands to mat through your vinyasa. Here together. Big inhale through the nose. And sigh it out the mouth. Let's do that again. In through the nose. Soften knees, gaze forwards. Lightly jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, reach tall, squeeze the thighs. Fold forwards. Halfway lift. High to low plank. Move with your breath. Up dog. Down dog. Right side, warrior one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Press down with both feet. Gaze over the front middle finger. Flip your front palm and reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat through your vinyasa, high to low. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Having a look down at your front knee, make sure it bends towards the baby toe. Breathe here. Flip your front palm and reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat, high to low plank. You can drop your knees if you need to. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. One more inhale. Exhale it all out, either walk or lightly float forwards. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach tall. Fold forwards. Flat back on the inhale. Either step and you can float back to your low plank. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale through your vinyasa, high to low. Upward facing or cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one, rise up. Warrior two. Reverse. Through your vinyasa, high to low. You can always drop your knees if you need to. Downward facing dog. Maybe noticing how this down dog feels now compared to at the start of class. Bring your feet together to touch. Lift your right leg up. Reach your heel towards the back wall. Bend your knee and open up your hips. See if you can lift that right knee a little bit higher. Options to stay with this or moving as if in slow motion. Find your wild thing. Press your hips up towards the ceiling, open through the chest. Again, moving slowly, place your right hand down onto the mat. Spin open, side plank, right hand down, left arm up. You can choose if you drop or lift the top leg. Keep breathing. For another 3, for 2, for 1, high plank. Either take a vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Feet to touch, staying on the right side, lift your right leg up. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your left elbow. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose. Crescent lunge, rise up. Find your foundation. If you feel wobbly, you can walk that right foot further out towards the right. Bring your hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist towards your right. Keep your left glute engaged here. Options to keep pressing palms into each other or open the arms. Keep spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling. Moving slowly, come back to center. Maybe it's a little bit wobbly, a little bit shaky here. Warrior 2, open out. Flip your front palm and reverse. Extended side angle, forearm to your thigh. And let's reach the left arm up overhead today. Try not to roll forwards, you're opening as you're reaching. Think about that back foot, press the outer edge of the left, or reach your right arm forwards too. Keep breathing. For another 3, for 2, for 1, both hands to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or straight to your downward facing dog. Bring your feet together to touch. Lift your left leg up this time. Really think about reaching that left heel towards the back of the room. And then bend your knee, open up your hips. See how close you can bring that left heel to your seat bones, keeping the shoulders square to the front of the room. Options to stay here or moving slowly if you have space, flip over to your flip dog. Moving slowly, come back, make your way through a high plank, spin open, side plank. Again, choose if you drop that lower knee or lift the top leg. Maybe bring your gaze up towards your top hand if you feel comfortable here. For another 3, for 2, for 1, both hands to the mat, either your vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Bring your knee to your nose. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your left elbow. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Bring your knee to your nose. Crescent lunge. Take your time. Rise up. Again, think about your foundations. Can you lift that back heel a little bit higher? Can you bend into the front knee a little bit more? You can choose if you keep your arms upright or cactus out the arms if the shoulders feel tight. Hands together at heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to your left this time. Think about stacking the left rib cage on top of the right. And you can choose if you keep your arms, your hands pressing into each other, or if you open your arms. Again, maybe bring your gaze up towards that top hand. Crescent lunge, come back. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle, forearm to your thigh, right arm up overhead today. Think about rooting both feet down, maybe pressing the front foot down and forwards, and the back foot down and back, ripping your yoga mat apart. Options to stay here or reach that left arm forwards too. Staying here for another 3, for 2, for 1, release hands to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or step straight to your downward facing dog. Let's take a couple of sides. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do that again. In through the nose. Soften knees. As lightly as you can, maybe take a little bounce in the knees here. Float forwards. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose, bend your knees, rise up. Again, really think about pressing the weight back into the feet. Ujjayi breath. Lift your right foot up off the floor. Tap your left heel with your right knee. Lift it back. We're going to do that 2 more times. Tap your left heel with your right knee. Lift up. Last one, tap the left knee. Lift up, chair pose. Hands together at heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to your right. Breathe in. See if you can sink your hips a little bit lower. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Separate your feet and grab your big toes with your first 2 fingers. You can take a halfway lift here. See if you can bend your knees and then find length. And fold forwards. Use the connection between the fingers and the toes to pull you into the pose a little bit more. Let your head just hang heavy. Maybe a gentle shake of the head or the upper body. Or maybe you need to stay in stillness. Release your toes. Bring your feet together to touch. Chair pose, rise up. Find your side, so lifting up that left foot. Find your balance. This one might feel a little bit harder on one side compared to the other. Tap your left knee on your right heel. Lift up. And again, tap your left heel, right heel. Lift up. Last one, tapping the heel. Lift up, chair pose. Hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist to your left this time. Have a little look at your knees. Make sure one doesn't shoot forwards. That tends to happen in this pose. Press the palms into each other. Breathe. Chair pose. Fold forwards. Separate your feet and slide the whole of the palm of the hand under the foot. So the toes are right up on your wrist creases. Again, find length, so bending the knees, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fold deeply over your hips. And let's flutter our lips here. So in through the nose, and then flutter the lips. Let's do that again, in through the nose. Maybe for once, if you're at home on your own, you can make a little bit more noise than normal. Release your hands. Separate your feet so they're as wide as your mat, toes slightly pointing out. Sink your hips into your Malasana squats. Elbows to the insides of the knees, hands together at heart center. Breathe. And even in, breathe. And even in, right down into your stomach. Think about lifting the crown of the head, so we're not sinking down here, we're lifting up. Options to stay where you are or come to crow pose. If you're staying where you are, keep the shoulders soft, crown of the head lifting. If you want to try your crow pose, hands to the floor in front of you and really press down with the fingertips, the whole of the hand here. Then think about lifting the hips up nice and high, bend through the elbows, make a little shelf for your knees, and then start to shift your weight forwards, maybe lifting up one. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. See if you can keep lifting the feet off the floor. If you're still in your squat, you're lifting the crown of the head. Staying for another 3. For 2. For 1, options to stay, step back, or if you're in your squat, make your way to a down dog any way you like. Soften knees, gaze forwards, jump to your hands. On an inhale, slowly roll all the way up to stand. Having your head is the last thing to lift. Eagle pose. Right leg over, right arm under. Bend that standing knee. And see if you can lift your elbows so they're up in line with your shoulders. Squeeze the thighs together. Release the pose. Eagle on the left leg over, left arm under. Remember to breathe in. Release, eagle on the right leg over, right arm under. And this time in your eagle, start to lean your weight forwards. And maybe see if you can touch your elbows to your knees. Keep breathing. Start to slowly unravel your legs and your arms. Warrior 3, aeroplane. Reach the fingertips towards the back wall, open through the chest. Keep breathing. Bring your hands together at heart center. Left hand down towards the floor. If you don't have a block, you can use a water bottle, or you can use pretty much anything that you can place your hand on. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Options to stay with this. Maybe bring your gaze up towards the right hand. Maybe float that left hand off the floor. Keep breathing. Keep the right toes flexed back towards you. And release, both feet down. Take a ragdoll. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let your head hang heavy. Release your hands. And on an inhale, rise back up to standing. Eagle on the left. Left leg over. Left arm under. Again, start to fold forwards. Maybe bring your elbows all the way onto your knees. Moving slowly, unravel. Warrior 3, kick back, open the chest. Think about reaching the left heel towards the back wall. Pulling that tummy button in and up. Hands together at heart center. Right hand down this time, half moon. And you can choose which variation you take. Either keep your gaze towards the floor, gaze up towards the left hand, or hover the right hand off the floor or block. Keep breathing. And release, both feet down. This time, interlace your fingers at your sacrum. Reach your hands towards the top of your mat. Let your head hang heavy. Release your hands. On an inhale, rise up to standing. Tree pose, sole of the right foot to the inside of the calf or thigh. Start with your hands together at heart center and really find your foundation here. Root that standing foot down. When you feel ready, open up, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Keep pressing the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. Maybe bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. See if you can stand a little bit taller. Right pointing out and grab the inside to the arch of the right foot. Start with your knees together to touch. Reach your left arm up, find length, and then start to lean forwards as you kick backwards. Keep breathing. And imagine there's something just in front of you that you're really trying to reach for. See if you can kick back into your hand a little bit more. And release. Windmill your arms to the other side. So eye of the left elbow is pointing out. Grab the arch to the inside of the left foot. Start with your knees touching. Reach your right arm up, find length. Start to lean forwards as you kick back into your hand. Keep breathing. Try not to have your gaze down towards the floor, rather out in front of you. And release, come back up. Shake it out again. If you're not at the front of your mat, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog or cobra, open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one, rise up. Warrior two. Triangle, straighten your front leg. Reach forwards and down. Try not to dump your weight forwards, rather think about someone lifting out of your left fingertips. Keep pressing down with the outer edge of your left foot. And you can choose if it feels better to look down or bring your gaze up. Inhale up to standing. Swivel both feet to face this side of the room. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold forwards. Both feet. And let your head just hang heavy. Release your hands. And with a straight spine on an inhale, rise back up to standing. Turn your right foot to face forwards and your back foot in and out slightly. So bring both hands to your hips and make sure they're facing the front of your mat. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Open your chest on an inhale. Fold forwards on an exhale, pyramid pose. Have your gaze down towards your shin or right foot. But try not to dump all the weight forward, so really press down with the back foot. Maybe bring your hands to your hips and see if you can make them in line. You might need to pull that right hip back slightly. Release hands to the mat. Either take a vinyasa or step straight to your downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Warrior two. Triangle, straighten your front leg. Reach forwards and down. Think about opening the chest so you're almost coming into a slight back bend here. Again, you can choose if your gaze is down or up. Inhale, back up to standing. Turn both feet to face the other way. This time, hands onto your hips. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, fold forwards. Bring your hands down to the floor, your toes, your shins, wherever feels comfortable. And just let the crown of your head sink down towards the floor. If the hamstrings feel really tight here, you can have a micro bend in the knees. Bring your hands back to your hips with a straight spine. Inhale up to standing. Swivel your left foot forward, step the right foot in and out slightly, so they're almost on train tracks here. Again, check both hips are facing the front. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow and see the normal way you go. See if you can go the opposite way. It might feel a little bit strange, but give it a go. Inhale as you open the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Again, gaze down towards that front shin or the front foot. Maybe taking the hands to the hips, checking they're in line. Hands to the mat, high plank, pausing here. Press the hands down into the floor. Shift your weight forwards, take a low plank, high plank, down dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. Roll forwards to your high plank. Take a low plank, high plank, down dog. Last one, roll forwards to high plank. Listen carefully, low plank, up dog. From your up dog, low plank, high plank, down dog. Roll forwards to high plank and you can drop your knees or keep them lifted. We're going to lower down towards the mat for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to lying flat on your mat, one cheek down, arms alongside your body. Take a couple of deep breaths here, just enjoying the sensation of stillness. Tuning back into your breath if you've lost it. Interlace your fingers at your sacrum, forehead down. Press down with the pelvis and then lift up to your locust pose. So lifting as much of your body up off the mat as you can. Ujjayi breath. Can you lift it a little bit higher? Last few moments here. And release, let go. Bring the other cheek down towards the mat and take a little sway with the hips. And we'll go again. Interlace the fingers behind you. Lift up. Keep breathing. Lift a little bit higher. And release, let go. We're going to take one more. This time you're going to interlace your fingers behind you. Bend your knees and flex your toes so the soles of your feet are reaching up towards the ceiling. Press the pelvis down and then lift up. Your knees might not lift very far off the mat, but you should feel a sensation through the back line of your legs. Keep breathing. And release, let go, sway the hips from side to side. Let's take a big sigh together, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, upward facing dog. Open the chest, down your back. Feet flat to the floor, hip width apart. Make sure you can just brush your heels with your fingertips. Press down with your feet. And then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe interlace the fingers underneath you, walking your shoulder blades further towards each other. Breathe here. Make sure your glutes are engaged. And gently release. Roll your spine back along the mat. Sway your knees from side to side. Lift up, bridge or wheel, your choice. Keep pressing the feet down to lift the hips a little bit higher. See how loud you can make your Ujjayi breath here. And then gently release. Roll your spine back along the mat. Sway your knees from side to side. And then lift up, bridge or wheel, your choice. Go for it. Keep pressing down to lift up a little bit higher. Last few breaths here. And gently release the pose, roll your spine back along the mat. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet to touch. One hand to your heart and one hand to your stomach. Coming back to that breath that we started the class with. Bring your knees together to touch and hug them in towards your chest. Maybe take a little rock side to side, massaging the lower back. Grab the outer edges of your feet and take a happy baby. Pull the knees in towards the armpits. Again, maybe a little sway side to side, feels nice on the lower back. And release your feet and straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. I like to have my hands all underneath my seat bones, but you might want to have them next to it. Relax your head and shoulders, and then lower your feet down towards the mat by a third. Pausing here, keep pressing the lower back down into the mat. By another third, inches off the floor. Take a little look at your toes, give them a wiggle, and then lift your feet all the way back up. Take a breath. And we'll go again, lower down by a third. Keep faces soft, maybe even a little smile. Lower down by another third. 2 inches off the floor, take a look at your toes and give them a little wiggle. Lift your feet all the way back up. Last one, lower down by a third. Keep breathing. By another third. 2 inches off the floor, this time look at your toes. Sway them like a pendulum from left to right. For 3, for 2, for 1. Lift your feet all the way back up and then hug your knees in towards your chest. Grab the underneath of your thighs and take a couple of rock and rolls backwards and forwards on your mats. You can take 1 or 2 or however many feel good. And we're going to meet in a boat pose. So find that point of balance on your seat bones. Shoulders relaxed. You can keep your hands on your thighs or open out. Or if you want a little extra challenge, no one's watching you, maybe grab hold of your big toes and see if you can straighten your legs. If, like me, a little bit tighter in the hamstrings, this one is quite hard. Maybe you rock and roll all the way onto your back. That happens quite a lot. Keep breathing. And release both feet to the floor and just let your forehead rest on your knees. Take a few breaths here. We're going to go for a shoot back here. So I'm going to demonstrate. If you want to do it along with me or do it after me, please do. Grabbing the underneath of your thighs, take a rock and roll. Cross the ankles, place the hands to the mat, shoot back to bent elbows. So if you can, always land with bent elbows. Give it a go, see what happens. And when you're ready, meeting in a downward facing dog. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Options here, if you get any compression in that hip area, you can walk the right toes out towards the right or the whole of the right foot out towards the right. You can choose to stay on your hands or come down onto your forearms. But keep a little bit of movement here, so maybe a little sway backwards and forwards, side to side. If you're on your forearms, come back onto your hands and set up for half pigeon. So right seated, if you need anything underneath that right hip, a cushion or whatever you might have within reach. And then starting to fold forwards onto your forearms, maybe all the way down onto your forehead. And as we start slowing the practice down a little bit, coming back to your breath. Coming back to that balloon that we started the class with. Maybe you can feel the expansion of your stomach on your leg. Maybe the texture, the shape, the color of the balloon that we started the class with has shifted, has changed now. Allow your imagination to control, to dictate whatever you want, whatever feels right to come up in your mind. Shift your weight onto your right hip and swing your left leg round so you're seated with your left leg straight and your right knee bent. Make sure you're right on both seat bones and then reach up with both arms and lean forwards, coming to a forward fold. You can choose if you hold onto your shin, your ankle, the sole of your foot. Trying to keep the shoulders soft so not rounding too much in the spine. Just breathing here. And each time you inhale, see if you can find a little bit more length in the spine. And as you exhale, fold a little deeper. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to fold. Release your foot and inhale all the way up to seated. And we're going to make our way to a down dog. If you feel like you would like to go for a vinyasa, do so. Otherwise, just stepping straight into your downward facing dog. Take any movement or stretch you need here. And then we'll step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Again, choosing which direction you want this foot. So it can be pointing all the way out. You can come onto the blade of that foot if you need to. You can stay up on your hands or come down onto your forearms. But keep a little bit of movement here. So maybe backwards and forwards, maybe side to side. Ujjayi breath. If you're on your forearms, lifting up onto your hands and setting up for half pigeon on the left. So walking that left foot towards the right wrist, dropping that right leg back. Taking a moment to really set yourself up. Maybe you need to place something underneath that left hip. Starting to fold forwards either onto your forearms or all the way onto your forehead. Maybe taking a little body scan here, noticing if the tension from your hip is creeping up anywhere else. Your hands, your shoulders, your forehead or your jaw. And just allow whatever you can to just soften here. If you find your mind is wandering off to other places, see if you can anchor it back in the present moment through your breath. Shift your weight onto your left hip this time and swing your right leg round. Again, so you're seated with your right leg stretched out and your left knee bent. Make sure you're right on both seat bones. Reach up with the arms. Start to lead with the chest, forward fold. Again, choose if you bring your hands onto your shins, ankle, or the sole of your foot. And then just come to a forward fold. You can choose if you stay in stillness or take a little bit of movement here, inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to fold a little deeper. Release your foot, inhale back up to standing. Standing, sitting even. And have both legs straight out in front of you this time. Make sure you're right on your seat bones, so if you need to move anything out the way. And for some of you, just sitting upright might be a challenge, keeping the toes flexed back towards you. Keep the shoulders relaxed. For others of you, maybe reaching up, and then lead with the chest to a forward fold. Again, choosing how far into the pose you go. If you want to stay in stillness, if you want to take some movement with your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Release your feet, inhale back up to seated, and we're going to take an inversion now. If any of you at home are next to a wall and want to try your headstand, please do. Alternatively, if you just want to sit next to your wall and straighten your legs up against it, also do. Otherwise, we'll take shoulder stand. If you want shoulder stand, we'll start in a plow pose by keeping the feet over the head. Bring the hands to the lower back, and then moving slowly with control, start to lift your feet up. Whichever pose you've gone for, we're just trying to get our feet up high for our final few moments of class. To release the pose, if you're in shoulder stand, start to bend your knees and bring them down towards your forehead or your ears. Pausing here. If you're in headstand, make your way to a child's pose. If you're in shoulder stand, slowly starting to roll yourself out of the pose, maybe using your hands as brakes along the mat. And when everyone is ready, make your way to lying flat on your back. And we're going to take a fish pose from here. So hands underneath seat bones, coming right up onto your forearms, opening the chest. If, like me, your hair is in the way, just moving it out of the way and coming into it. So you actually want the crown of the head to touch the floor. And let's take a lion's breath here. So in through the nose. And then open your mouth, stick out your tongue and go. Let's do that again together. In through the nose. Lion's breath. Release the pose, untuck the chin. Release the hands and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Let it fall over to the left for a spinal twist. Right arm towards the right, maybe gaze towards the right. Come back to center and swap sides, so hugging that left knee in. Let it fall over towards the right. Left arm out towards the left, maybe gaze towards the left. Come back to center and hug both knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up towards your knees. Make yourself as small as you can possibly be. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth as you let go, release. Come to lying flat on your back. Palms facing the ceiling, eyes closed. Shavasana, final resting pose. Start to deepen your breath. Bring some small movement to your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. Roll onto your right side. And with as little movement, as little effort as possible, come up to a seated or a kneeling position with your hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Take a moment here to bring to your mind someone that you're thankful for. And with gratitude in your heart, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you all very much for joining me. Let me know any feedback at all, noise, sound, practice. It was great having you. I hope that I will see you all in person soon, but until then, I'm doing this definitely tomorrow, but be in touch, you know where I am now, so you can find me on the page anytime. Have a great day and see you soon.